Welcome to the Living Well Show, where we have holistic conversations that inspire healing, hope, and transformation with your hosts, Dr. Albert and Shanique Tompkins. Hello, everyone. I am Shanique.
Hi, I am Dr. Albert.
And we thank you for joining us on tonight. We hope that you are well on this first Monday in December. Can you believe we're in the last month of the year?
I know it's amazing.
So as we're wrapping down, we think about gifts, we think about Christmas, but we also start thinking about New Year's resolutions. And
Mm.
before we get to those resolutions, sometimes we have to deal with some things, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So, Albert, go ahead and introduce our guest.
I will. And as you stated, this is the holiday season, and sometimes you gather with relatives, and some things come up. You might be a little angry, a little upset. And so tonight, we're going to talk about you're still angry, how to control your anger before it controls you. We have an expert tonight to help us with that in the person of Isaac Rowe. Isaac Rowe is a author, filmmaker, and anger management specialist based in Austin, Texas. He is a professional life changer who finds a myriad of ways to connect with people from all walks of life and backgrounds. Isaac specializes in male advocacy, leadership development, anger management, and facilitating programs focused on disadvantaged youth. As a founder and CEO of The Man in Me, a nonprofit organization that educates, strengthens, and provides support to men in need of personal development and parenting, Isaac is poised to build a replicable model for any community interested in building resilience in men, and that's sorely needed.
Yes.
So Isaac is also as a best-selling author for his work I Love Anger, a great book that you have to get, which is featured on Amazon as a top 100 bestseller. He is passionately committed to the incredible work he is doing to help people around him and is successfully transforming lives every day. So, I want to say good evening to our good friend Isaac. Isaac, go ahead and welcome the people on tonight.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining in today, and thank you, Dr. Albert and Shanique, for the wonderful opportunity to be on this show. I've been looking forward all week to this show, so thank you for having me.
No
You're
problem,
welcome.
man.
Thank you for being
Yeah, we're so
here.
glad you're here. I know you're a very, very busy man. He also has a great conference that happens every year, and he can talk about that. But we'll talk about that maybe later on. But let's get started here, Isaac. You know so much, and you do some great things. Please tell us about your journey into becoming a anger management specialist. How did you get started?
Well, how I got started with Man and Me, just kind of building the nonprofit and
Okay.
coming across that there was a lot of angry men that I was dealing with. There was a lot of angry men,
Mm,
and I was just like, wow, as I'm talking to them and trying to help them, I'm realizing that I still got some stuff inside of me that's going on that I ain't really dealt with. And
yeah.
I'm over here like I'm telling you, I'm like, man, you need to deal with this. I'm like, well, did you deal with yours? Did you deal with yours? I was like, nah, I don't think I had. I'm not. It's not about me. It's about
Yeah.
them. They need help, and
Yeah.
whatever. And I had to dig down to myself. I said, dig down inside and say, hey, I need to like get this out. I need to figure out a
Mm,
way to express myself in a healthy
mm,
way. How can I do that? And when I was just writing thoughts and I was just writing thoughts and just kind of venting and
mm,
seeing, and that's what kind of the book kind of came out of, just writing angry thoughts, and then it kind of
mm,
turned into a book. And so getting into being an anger management specialist and just really studying anger and just
mm,
going out there to different places and getting the national certification for it, and just really getting involved into this emotion. And so
mm.
because I didn't know that that emotion had such a stronghold over my life, that I was allowing it, and how I really enjoyed being angry than I enjoyed being happy,
Oh,
because it was more comfortable to me. And
okay.
so it was more comfortable for me to be angry because anger doesn't let me down.
Mm, that's
Mm,
good.
Anger
wow.
doesn't let me down. When I'm happy, there's always something to bust my bubble. When I'm trying to, be
Wow.
happy and
Mm,
excited, and you're like that, and there's always something negative that comes in. But anger stays the same. It
wow.
stays in that place, and so you don't expect anything to come. You just
Yeah.
expect it is what it is, and you just throw it all in one big pot. And so that's how I became a anger management specialist, and I've been doing that for about 6, 7 years or so. So it's exciting being able to work with not only adults but teens as well. I really enjoy working with the at risk youth. So that's something that really sparks me. So really excited about the work that we're doing.
Wow, Isaac, thank you for being so vulnerable. And you've already opened up such a nugget talking about anger doesn't let you down. That was powerful, man.
Right.
That was powerful. So go ahead and continue to unpack. How do you define anger? Where are we working from with our definition of anger in your words?
What is anger? Anger is a
Hmm.
natural human emotion that everyone has experienced at every point in their lives, right? And
Hmm.
Webster defines it as a strong feeling of displeasure, antagonism, indignation, or an automatic reaction to any real or imagined insult, frustration, or injustice, producing emotional agitation seeking expression.
Hmm.
So this strong emotion is what we deal with every day, and so it's something that it's a part of life. And so to remove this, you won't really have the best quality of life. It's a part of who you are. It's a part of your makeup. It's a
Mm,
part of your design versus trying to push it away and say, I don't need this. So like, no, you really need this.
Hmm.
It's really a part of what you need. Too much salt can kill you, but you need
Hmm.
salt
Right.
in your body,
That's right.
right?
It's true.
You need
Yes.
too much water can kill you, but you
That's
still need
right.
water, right?
That's right.
yeah.
So there has to be that balance. And that's what we want to talk about, being healthy and being balanced and all these emotions and be able to manage these emotions. So
Okay.
anger
Well,
is a strong emotion.
yeah, I love that definition. And to go back what you said earlier, you said that you began to write down angry thoughts. So I guess the question is, did you realize you were angry? And how does one detect that they're also angry? What's the how's one figure that out with themselves?
I think that people will tell you, right? People will
Mhm.
Mm,
tell you. And I think when you start to operate out of certain things that are out of character, that are not out of
mhm.
yourself, we can make note of that. And sometimes we have that eternal anger where I call it the hosting anger. It's just like we're just kind of be quiet. We don't say much, and we just internalize, and what we're doing is imploding inside. So to get to that place where you're identifying I have a problem or there's an anger uh feeling going on, is pay attention to yourself. Like, your hands, are
Mm,
they getting sweaty? Is your heart rate increasing? Are you becoming something else out of you?
mm.
So you know how, like, anxiety, if you're familiar with like intense or situations, when I give you the best example, when a car tries to come across you and you got the kids in the car and they
Yeah.
just try to sideswipe and they're trying to go somewhere with this big old truck, and then like
Mm,
you feel something come
hmm.
across you, like this your instinct and this anxiety, and I'm angry because I got my kids in the car, and it's just like
Hmm.
this feeling that comes up. And so when you're feeling that, you can tell, like, oh, what's paying attention on, well, my breath is increasing, my hands are sweaty, my
Mm.
mind just went somewhere. And so
Yeah.
I'm not myself. I can tell, like, I'm not myself because I felt it. We all felt it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I'm experiencing something. And so just paying attention to yourself is awareness, like what's happening to me, and fully
Hmm.
embody that emotion if it's in anger. One of the things, identify certain things that are triggers,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
What are triggers for you? So
Yeah.
going into, like, waking up in the morning, I know I gotta leave at a certain time because I don't like crossing a certain street because it's
Hmm.
very busy and it's frustrating for me. It's
Yeah.
very frustrating for me, and I don't like people honking at me. So if I
Mm.
know that, and I'm a very cautious driver, so if I know that, then I need to make arrangements for that because I might get out the car,
Right. Right.
and I might get
Yeah.
out the car, and I'm 6'3", right? It's
Right.
not gonna be nice. Somebody's gonna get afraid to just call you because I got out the car. Period.
Right.
So that's just what we're at in this world, and so I got to be careful about my triggers. I know that I'm triggered by that, and I
Mm.
know that I can handle it if the situation has happened. But I
Hmm.
gotta put some things in place for me to be able to have a successful day. So how do I want to create my day? If my day is doing this, I don't need to be doing that. When it's late, I know I got to prepare and put my filters in place. So I
Right.
could be able to like, hey, I got to put some filters in place because if I'm late and it's like this, I know how I'm going to get. I got to pace myself and focus on breathing. So I know I'm going all in. So
That's okay.
I don't probably all into the question, but I don't know. I hope that answered the question.
No,
But
no, it's good. No, and I appreciate your passion for it because you shared some good tips there because you said some of the physical aspects of anger. Your hands are getting sweaty. And you're getting anxious, and that's the physical side. Are there any other areas that anger impacts? Maybe
yeah,
the family or your own self. What else is impacted by anger?
yeah, that's a good point. You brought that up because I was talking about the bodily triggers, but there's also that
Right.
cognitive triggers, right? The
Hmm.
cognitive triggers. Because you talk about the bodily, your diet, how you're creating your day, how you're taking care of yourself, and then the cognitive
Hmm.
triggers. What are those triggers coming from a past experience? Because when we smell certain things, our senses smell or see certain things or familiar with different things, we
Hmm.
we get triggered by that really fast, and it bring back something that happened 15, 20 years ago.
Wow.
And so
Yeah.
now you bring in that whole baggage to the fight. You bring in everything that you had, all the weapons that
Wow.
you had stored up. And if you were
Hmm.
if you were younger from 10 years old, you couldn't do anything at this point. But when something triggers and says, now I'm grown, I'm older,
Wow.
I can fight now. You know what I'm saying? I have a
Wow.
voice now. And so now
Yeah.
I'm bringing in my 10-year-old baggage trying to go out here and fight. And it's a whole different fight. And the fight is not even what it was really needs to be, but because something triggered me and now I'm able to fight, I bring this fight to this person that has no point. They shouldn't deserve that fight. It's not their. But I know you said about the what other things to be able to be aware of. Make sure I get
Hmm.
that question right. What other
Yes.
things?
Yes. Correct. Other things that are impacted by anger.
Your family. I know you're talking about the family.
Yeah.
To see parents, I'm gonna go this direction because parents. We always talk about timeout, right?
Hmm.
Timeout. Timeout is really for you. It's not really for the kids. Timeout. Well, we call it timeout, and kids redirect. Parents
Mm.
take a timeout, kids redirect.
Right. Right.
We don't, so we're just like it's a timeout because I need to like get myself together.
Yeah.
And so if I
Yeah.
take my work, what my boss did, my drive, my commute on here, I had a flat tire and whatever the case may be, and I bring everything with me to the family. I got to be able to defrag and be able to decompress and be able
Yeah.
to shake everything out from that day and don't bring that into to the family. And so it's not to disregard it and act like it doesn't exist. I think you need to
Mhm.
process that. You need to process what that day is, if it's a tough day or however your day was. But it could affect the family. And if you go snapping at your kids, I'm like, I didn't do anything. I was just asking for some fruit. And
Right.
you're like,
Yep.
I was like, well, fruit is healthy, isn't it? They didn't, they didn't ask for candy, did they? I'm just saying, it's just like they're kids, they're
Yeah.
your children, and so we get all like feeling some type of way because there's other things, other factors that come into play, and then
Mhm.
we operate in the family, and that's not what we really want. That's not really
Yeah.
what we want. And so for me, when I'm telling some of the dads that come in off the construction sites and different things of that nature, and they come in, they're kind of like barking, and then they
Mm.
don't want to hear the wife kind of talk about their day that had nothing to do. I had to go out here and fight to do all this, and so they're like, I just really want to just eat and just like leave me alone, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so how do you process that? How do you move through that day and be able to not be so angry at your wife? And how do you not be angry at the kids? And I would say this is be careful how you talk and treat yourself.
Mm.
Be careful how you
Mm.
talk and treat yourself. And a lot of I'm very like critical of myself, right? So
Okay.
I'll criticize. I'm very hard on myself. I'm very, very hard on myself on what I could do because I believe
Mm,
greatness is inside me. It's a good
yeah.
thing, but it's like that double-edged sword kind of. It's like I believe greatness. I'm trying to get it out, but I'm almost tearing myself apart to get it out.
To get it out. Yeah.
So I said, be careful how you talk to yourself and what you believe about yourself and how you treat yourself and how you are able to move and around other people that don't deserve to be in your space, either
Yeah.
at that time or ever. So,
Hmm.
you know, and
Yeah.
so I would say that in thinking about those things that you're taking care of yourself first so you can take care of the family so you can come
Right.
in there in the way you want to come in there is loving and
Yeah.
nurturing your family. You want to be able to grow that and hold that relationship and continue to build and grow. And your goal is not to tear down. And so we're not trying to do that, right? So
Right.
we're not,
Right.
so absolutely. So yeah, I would say that.
So thank you. You helped us with the family aspect. Now, what would you say to the one who is angry? How would they manage this on their job, in their workplace? Do you have any tips to help them control in that workplace environment?
Ooh, the workplace environment. The workplace environment. Always awareness. Always be
Mm,
aware of yourself. Know that you're there to do a job. Know that it is not your job to agree with everybody else's ideas
right.
or for everything to just align up and just take your emotions out of it. Like, really, just
Mm,
take your emotions out of it. Like, you don't have to be like, oh, well, this is a personal attack
mm,
against me. I'm like, no, they just believe that this is a fuchsia mixed with a little splash of this, color, and you're like,
right.
no, it's just purple. And so, no, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you don't have to agree with everybody's ideas, and taking your emotions out of it and not taking it, don't take it personally. I think that's one of the
Yeah.
tips. It's like, don't take it personally when you're at the job, you're there to do a job. And if it's at a place where it's toxic and you just can't do anything about this job, then you have choices. You have
Yeah.
options, you have choices. So if this is not good for yourself, for your health, for your mental health in general, then there's choices. You're not a slave. Like, you can move around and do something else, right? So, and, everybody, we can always make money. We can never get back the time that we lost, right? We can never be 20 again or
Yeah.
15 again. And so, um, but when you're at work, just focus on the task. Focus on the task. And when I know I'm like trying to make sure I when if some of my team or somebody sees this and be like, oh, you were talking about me. Uh but when I get angry all right, I get angry at work, and I'm pretty much every day, right? That This full transparency, right?
Wow. I
I'm
appreciate that, man.
frustrated and angry pretty much every day, and that's when I said, well, it's tough, right? But
Mm.
blessed, because I'm not gonna let them ruin my day.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let them ruin my day. If I'm ruining my day, it's because I allowed them
Mm.
to ruin my day.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna allow you to ruin my day. If it's something I'm dealing with, that's different. But if I'm dealing with you guys, I'm like, hey, I really can just walk out of here and be okay. Like, I'm gonna make sure I take care of myself at the end of the day. I'm like, look, if I gotta go into the bathroom, if you gotta go pray, meditate, go out here or go around the block, it is what it is. Just say, hey, and they like, hey, where were you? I'm like, hey, I just really had to go pray. Is that okay? Nobody don't really say anything about that, but they just like don't know what to say. They're like either okay, like I understand, or what are you gonna say about that, right? I
Right.
really
I'm glad you
don't.
went to go pray.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't know why you need to go pray. They're like, well, I just felt like I needed to go pray so I can come back and be a better and more efficient and effective at work. And we're like, okay, okay, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, well, I was like, just these are the tips and strategies on like how to get
Nah,
by. I know,
yeah.
but it's
I
just like,
appreciate it. That's it.
yeah, just focus on the task and be there, and don't allow other people's opinions and thoughts and everything to live rent free in your mind all day. And that's what I gotta like really kind of like cast out all day. It's like,
Mm.
okay, you're frustrating me. And be aware of that feeling. I'm frustrated.
Mm.
I'm frustrated
Yeah.
with this. And I gotta talk to myself. So I do use a lot of self-talk. So I'm
Mm.
like, man, this is really frustrating. I gotta do this whole thing completely over because somebody made an error
Yeah.
on something that
Yeah.
said, hey, you know what? This needed to go for this week and not this day or whatever. And so all the dates need to be changed on all
Mm.
this, or all the
Mhm.
things need to be reorganized to do this. I'm like,
Woo.
it's not that you're not getting paid. It's just that I don't want to do things over and over again.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I'm progressive. I want to move and do something. I don't want to do the same thing 2-3 times, which I've done that before. The
Yeah.
same thing three
Yep.
times.
Yeah.
It's like moving something 3 times, and you're like, why not just put it one place and you could have just let me know what it is. Make up
Yeah.
your mind, right? And so we can allow them and to enter in our space and disrupt our peace. And that's what we're
Mm.
here. We're here. Don't let them interrupt your peace, and keep your peace and keep your peace of mind, and make your money.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what it boils down to, and we appreciate the true raw root truth and those tips because that's what the rubber meets the road, and we need those tips. Seriously. So
Absolutely. I hope that was
Absolutely.
helpful. I hope that was helpful.
I believe it was. I think we got a lot of people who'll be writing down. I had to go and pray.
all right. Yeah, that's a good one.
Hey, hey, it's
Okay.
hey, okay. What do you say to that, right? What do you say to
Right.
that? Oh, you gonna tell me not to go pray?
Exactly.
Like, I mean, what are you gonna say? I don't know
Right.
what you can say to that, right?
Exactly. Because you don't want
Exactly.
me not praying. That's all I'm saying. You don't want me
Yeah.
not praying. So
What was it? The Incredible Hulk that said, "You wouldn't like me when I was
yeah,
angry."
that's right.
Yeah, absolutely,
I need
absolutely.
this time out.
Yeah.
So, Isaac, let's shift and transition and take the same energy. And you tell us about what inspired you to write I Love Anger, because we can obviously tell that you're passionate about this topic. And then you took it and you put it into book form and it's
Mhm.
transforming lives. So go ahead and take us in about I Love Anger.
So I Love Anger is a journey from childhood to adulthood on how anger ruled and controlled my life. And I was able to redirect that anger into a positive direction to forgiveness and freedom, right? And so when I originally wrote the book, again, I wrote all the thoughts down. And I will give some backstory on this is that when I got out of high school, I went into college and I was not dealing with things. And so when I was working, the workplace said that they put me on like a leave of, I guess, like a therapy where I had to go last chance to like get therapy. And so I was like mandated basically to go to therapy. And when I went in there, the therapist had told me like, hey, you're describing great depression. You're
Mm.
the great. I'm like, what? I am not depressed. And they try to give me the medicines and all that like that. I said, there's nothing wrong with me. I said, there's
Mm.
nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. And I kept denying that there was something wrong with me. And so I came up with, I was like, you know what? I'm angry. And
Mm.
so from that moment growing up, when I look back, when I started writing all the thoughts, I start pulling from those experiences, not only from my past, but like that was like the mile of stone where it like, dang, there was seriously something going on when the whole company tells you, when your people around you said they don't want to work with Isaac because he's he's just not nice. Like and so what my boss said, he said that I was a hazard to the work environment.
Wow.
Mm.
And I was just like, I think I was the nicest person, but apparently when I get angry, you don't like me when I'm angry, right? And
Right.
so, and I'll shut down the whole plant. Like, I don't care anybody, right? And so from writing the thoughts and dealing with all those things, which I talk about in the I wrote all the thoughts, and I had to really express myself on those deep things, those what I call in my one of the chapters called angry roots. And I those hidden things, and I started just writing all this stuff down and just kind of just letting it go, letting it go, letting it go. And so just built it and just kept writing. I just like, this could really help somebody. This could really help somebody. And so I formulated into the book, and I just put it all together, and I said, hey, as I grew, and I just said, this is something that's going to help someone. Seeing not only my testimony, hearing the clinical, but also in that personal approach within the clinical aspects as well. And so for
Mm-hmm.
this one, the I Lover also has that faith aspect to it as well. So it has a universal, spiritual, clinical, and a personal approach all wrapped in one, that you can get something from it, that anyone can get something from it. And so, yeah. Oh, dance.
Yeah, we're super proud of you. And we saw that you dropped just here recently the workbook for the adults. So go
Yes.
ahead and tell us about that as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is,
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you. So this is the book right here. This is the original book right here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the teen book. This is
Mm-hmm.
the I Love Anger for Teens. And then what I have, so it will look similar to this, but it's for adults.
Okay.
And we just released that. And so it'll be coming out pretty soon on Amazon. And yeah, it's just a different approach to it, a little bit more grown folkish. This the teen has a lot of stuff that, is more fitted for. And then for adults, I kind of left it as raw as is. And so that's something that I felt like the clients that I have, not only I usually have like the audiobook and the book, I needed something for them, specific for them, that they now that COVID and everything that we're experiencing, and racial and uh stuff and tensions, and just families going through a lot of stuff, that more the adults, the parents that we're working with, are having some challenges. And so just had to release the adult book for it. And so when we have our group sessions, we can actually be able to have our group sessions with the workbook.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I must say that's a phenomenal book. I read it myself, and I'm a counselor by trade, and so some of my clients have read it. And let me tell you, I have one particular client who was incarcerated, and it really has blessed him once he got released, and it's been a phenomenal too. And I would encourage everyone to go out and just get it and go through it. You'll be surprised how it impact you, even for yourself, to recognize these things in yourself to help yourself. So congratulations again, sir. It was great. That's a
Thank you.
great book. Yeah.
Thank you.
And so just tell us some of the programs that came out of that book.
The programs. So I have my youth anger management workshop that I do, also the adults as well. Let's see. From there, I think that just a lot of things I've been doing is just speaking, doing certain presentations and things, not only in the schools, at and even in businesses like organizations and agencies, just giving workshops and of that nature on the subject matter, not only in male advocacy and anger and a whole bunch of stuff like that. So I'm a big male advocate, so I'm always in there talking about one of three of these topics. And so,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And you're a valuable tool to the community because we have so many people that deal with this area of anger, whether they know it or not. And it's getting younger and younger. We have young
Mhm.
children who are angry. So
Mhm.
the fact that you're able to first have lived it yourself,
Mhm.
identify what it is, and then can reach back and help others, that is priceless, sir. And so
Awesome.
as we start to wind things down, do you have any takeaways that can help us to temper our or to tame our temper?
Tame our temper. I got a quote. Is okay? I got a
Sure.
quote.
Yeah.
I want a quote because I think this quote is fitting. And I got a couple of quotes, I guess. one of the things we talk about when anger, and I guess I want to get to like root. I don't want to give you everything, but I want to give you something because you gotta go get the book, right?
That's
Yes,
right.
Gotta go
yes,
get the book.
yeah. So, and when you do, please let us know how they can get the book here after you finish that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then when we talk about you must have awareness, watch yourself, observe yourself, study yourself, and how do I say this? Daniel Goleman on says empathy is paying attention to the person in pain,
Mm,
right?
mm,
And
mm,
so, what I would suggest to keep in our minds and our hearts is that you never know what the other person is going through, and that other person might just be you.
mm.
And
Wow.
so, like I told you, harden ourselves, right? Give grace to ourselves.
Yeah.
Give grace to ourselves and understand, give empathy to yourself, but not only to others. You never know what the other person is going through, and just kind of pay attention to that. Because there's a reason behind every behavior,
Yeah.
right? There's a reason behind every behavior, why they are doing these acting out of character, or they're
Mm,
behaving in this such a manner that's not healthy. And so we never know what's going on at home. We don't know what's going on internally with them. And so I will keep that as a tip when you're getting angry, when you're feeling something. I want you to put that in your mind as a filter, as an
mm,
empathy filter, and say, hey, I don't really know the full picture. I know that there's something happening. And I'll say this, even when somebody's hitting me, I've been trained to not only because I'm in martial arts, is that not only to have empathy while if I gotta break somebody's arm. Like
mm.
there's steps and processes to go do that if I gotta do that, and having that grace for that until I have to do that.
Yeah.
Right. And I know what I can do, but I don't have to unless I feel that the threat is there. And
Right.
so there's a process to that, and thinking like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to hurt this person. I don't know
Mm,
what's really going on. I don't
mm.
really know what's going on. I might just break your arm for whatever reason, and your mother passed away. Like that's
Wow.
like I don't want to do that. I know what that's like. Why would I want to do that to that person? And
Yeah.
so I always say, just keep that empathy as a filter in your mind when you're at work, when you're dealing with people. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on with you. Hopefully you know what's going on with you, but just give yourself that time and that space. um I will leave you with that, and then I do have a quote. I want to see if I can find it here. Here it is. It's by Joanne Wolfgang von Goethe. Said that I've come to the frightening conclusion that I am the decisive element. It is my personal approach that creates the climate. It is my
Mm,
daily mood that makes the weather. I
mm,
possess tremendous power to make my life miserable or joyous. I can be a tool of torture or an instrument of inspiration. I can humiliate or humor, hurt or heal. In all situations, it is my response that decides whether a crisis is escalated or de escalated, and
mm.
a person is humanized or dehumanized. If we treat people as they are, we make them worse. If we treat people as they ought to be, we help them become what they are capable of becoming. And so I ask you, is like, do you want to destroy everything around you, or build those things around you that will make a difference? Do you want to leave this world knowing that you made an impact and left a mark? And so it's just kind of just thinking about that. Like, I have the power and control, and it is my emotional management that I have to get under control. And this is me. This
Mm,
is really just a me thing. And
mm.
live with your anger, embrace the anger, process the anger, but don't allow that anger to be in the driving seat, right?
Yeah. Okay.
We want anger to be inside the car, but we want to be like in the luggage rack or somewhere else. We don't want them driving.
Yeah.
When anger drives, it's so comfortable. Yeah, because I talked about it earlier. It's so comfortable because He never lets me down. We know what we're gonna do. We know what we're
Yeah.
gonna do. Never fails. But
Yeah.
when you gotta sit in there and just be in the car and you're angry, but there's nothing happening. But the process of in fully embracing this emotion and riding this wave and understanding your behavior, understanding what's going on with you. Why did it make you feel this way?
Mm.
What was connected to why you felt this way? So I would just say that. I definitely would say that and leave you with that quote. And don't give your power away.
Wow.
Don't give your power away. Don't give your power away. That's a big thing, because once we allow other people's thoughts and ideas to become our own, and we embrace it as
Mhm.
belief, or what I
Mhm.
talked about anger, a real or imagined, perceived or perception of something, made it my world,
Yeah.
made it my
Yeah.
world now. So now I'm operating off something that's either real or imagined, whether it mattered or not mattered. It is what it is. Like, you're not going
Yeah.
to ruin my day. This is how I want to be. And don't let
Mm.
anybody get you out of your character. And I'm not going to give you my power.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna allow you to live rent free in my mind, especially free for free. No, 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 not
Right.
for pay, not for a fee either. You
Right.
know, so so that's what I would say. But yes, that's what I would say.
Wow.
I hope that was good.
Thank. Yeah, it was awesome, man.
Powerful.
Very powerful. Very
Mhm.
powerful. And I love that quote and what you said regarding that. So as we wrap it up here, sir, how can people get in contact with you? How can they get the book? Please give us your information.
Yes, you can go to iloveanger.com. That's iloveanger.com, and you can find us on the Amazon as well. I Love Anger on Teens, or I Love Anger Isaac Rowe. You can find that on social media, any platform. Barnes, you should be able to search and it'll come up. And only one title like it in the world. So it should be hard to find, but if you can go to I Love Anger, it's pretty much just gonna show up and you're gonna see my face. So yes, and you can also go to the website and you can contact us as well.
Great.
Awesome. This has been a phenomenal show. Isaac, we thank you and appreciate you just spewing a bit of your nuggets and gems with us. And we will definitely have to have you come back and just do a deep dive, intensive, especially for men,
Yes.
because you're passionate
Yep.
in that area and we don't have many voices that are speaking to our men. So we look forward to having you back on that. We
Awesome.
thank you all for being with us on tonight. We sure hope that you have gotten something out of today's talk that will help you to be better, to do better, and to live better. And leave us a comment. We love reading what you have gotten out of it. So if Isaac's talk has sparked up anything in you, leave us a comment, share it with your friends and family. And be sure to come back in next Monday at 7 p.m. because we'll have another awesome and amazing guest that will help us to all live a better life. That's all that I have. Albert, you want to take us out?
Just thank you, Isaac. Appreciate you very much for your wisdom. And we're looking forward to talking to you again, not only about your book, but your film and your organization. We'll talk about that as well. But find him, find his resources, and I'm sure he'll bless you, especially during this time, during this season. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you again right here on the Living Well Show next week. God bless and take care.
Good night.
Good night.